Today I've got a bevy of information to kind of throw at you guys today. So, kind of the backstory is this summer I ended up purchasing a new trombone with me. So this horn right here is one horn that I kind of anticipate transitioning towards a little bit more. You just kind of have to see how it goes. So now here comes the reason why as to why I might have bought this horn or even think I might be playing it. So let's go back to my original horn here. I've got my green hoe, okay? And on my green hoe, this is a very unique instrument, honestly. It's what we have what we call the tuning that's in the slide, okay? And so when you look at almost any other trombone, you'll find that the tuning actually is at the back end of the bell here. So that is where you typically find that. And so what that causes is this whole bell, this whole section of my trombone here, this is all metal and it's all just one piece from beginning to the end. All right? And so that really changes the way that the instrument plays. So in fact, that's what the whole idea of today's post is going to be about. There are so many ways that you can make an instrument, and every single decision you make really can change the way that the instrument sounds or the way it plays or the way it speaks, all sorts of stuff. So I tried to pull out a whole bunch of my trombones that I have to just kind of show you, first of all, some of the differences and also how they all sound a little bit different. And so you'll find that as I play through just a couple of these examples, you'll hear how each instrument excels at something and isn't so great at something else. So when you pick out an instrument, you're always trying to find what best suits you as a player because, again, some instruments are great at this, but they're terrible at other things. So we're going to start here just with my old green hoe. This thing's been with me since, I think, 2011. And I've loved it so much. So what I really like about it is the colors and the personality that it comes with. Some of the downsides of it have to do with a little bit of what we call speaking or the clarity on notes. It's just a little bit more difficult than other instruments. And sometimes the flexibility of this instrument as well is a little bit harder to get around on. So I'm just going to play one example for you, and I'll do it kind of on all my instruments here and talk about some of the other small differences. So this is the one that has tuning in the slide. Another difficulty with this is that because there's tuning in the slide, there's all sorts of metal and such on here. It really makes the slide so much slower than anything else, and it requires a lot of effort to move it compared to any other trombone. So here's just a little part of an excerpt from The Ride of the Valkyries. So that's, again, that horn. I really do like it. I have found in general it blends really, really well with other musicians. But in general, if you're listening to it alone, it doesn't necessarily sound like your typical orchestral instrument. So winning a job on this horn is really difficult because people have certain concepts in mind for their what they want in their orchestra. So again, that is the green hoe, tuning in the slide, and the bell is all one piece. And let me take you back, a blast from the past here, to one of my first horns that I got. I think I was a junior in high school when I bought this horn. This is a Bach trombone. This actually, in terms of sound, sounds the most like an orchestral trombone, what we're looking for. In fact, some orchestras almost require you to have a Bach trombone. We're kind of moving away from that, so it's a little bit less true. But when I was in college, there was definitely a lot of orchestras that played exclusively Bach or other instruments called like cons. And they just have a very specific sound that some people really, really like. So there's nothing necessarily special about this one. This is a yellow brass instrument here. The trombone that I just played for you, the green hoe, is rose brass. All brass instruments are made of an alloy, and so each alloy again, has pros and cons, so you can see the difference in the colors of these. It's kind of hard to tell if you don't have another instrument with you. So one's rose brass, and that one usually has a lot of colors, a lot of sound, a lot of warmth. And the yellow brass is a little bit less warm. Sometimes they might describe it as bright, but it can really, really also get dark as well, just kind of depending on how you play it. So again, no tuning in the slide here, and that results in the back section, the bell itself, to be composed of two main pieces here. We've got this section here, and then the actual tuning part that moves up and down, and then finally the bell section. Here again is that same excerpt. It's been a long time since I played on this horn, but it still does really nice job. I can see why I played on it for so long. But some of its actual speaking is also really, really difficult. The issue with this specific horn is that each note it's really hard to find the center of the note, whereas these other two trombones that I've purchased since then, really just like the note's right here, and I just have to, play it for the most part. So this one makes you work a lot harder in order to make it sound great. So again, that is that Bach trombone. I played on it from my junior year of high school all the way until I was almost done with my master's degree in 2011 or 2012. All right, so that brings us to this Wrath trombone. Just like the Greenhoe, Gary Greenhoe, custom designed, custom made by himself, well, his own company, and handmade those in the trombone. This is another person that does the same idea. He custom makes his own horns. I actually got this from my old professor when I was doing ISYM over at the University of Illinois over summer. I was just talking about, oh, I know you used to play on this horn. He's moving. I didn't know if he was trying to sell any of them. And he actually was. So this is a really unique instrument. I've never played on one before, and I just wanted to see how they play. So this is a really common thing for some trombones. They have a detachable bell right here, and so you can change literally the bell to other alloys, other things, just depending on what your needs are. And it just easily screws in and screws out. So that's a pretty cool thing right there. I can actually detach the bell itself, and I can put a different bell on here instead. So if I want that more yellow brass, which sometimes is really good, especially for jazz or just pops, orchestras, that sort of stuff, I can easily switch to that as well. The tuning, again, is actually where it usually is. He does actually make tuning in the slides, so if this turns out to be something that I really, really love, I might reach out to him about that. And so what I was shocked about this horn is how easy it is to play. I played some really nice horns in my day, but nothing ever beats my Greenhoe until this horn. Now, I say that, but the Greenhoe still, especially in terms of soloing right now, is still kind of my number one instrument, where it just has so much more to give currently than this horn. So so the speaking, the ease of playing this, the flexibility, being able to go up and down on the horn really, really easily is something that is kind of second to none. I haven't played on anything like it before. So I also, I got a really good deal. Not only did I get that extra bell, I also got another slide here. And so both slides are very different. This one is the one that I have on right now. I'm kind of working on seeing how well it can work with soloing. So this is what they call a dual bore, which just means that the inside of the slide here starts really, really tiny, and then it opens up towards the back end here. Whereas all the other slides that I played on so far, they're just what you call, they're just open bore, basically, 545 millimeter length between the two of them, and it's just open the whole way. So the airflow changes, which changes again just how that horn plays. I'll play this for you. So I'm going to do that that Wagner piece. Now, the way I have the horn set up isn't necessarily ideal for that. So I'll also switch out the slides and play that as well. But you can hear the difference between everything. So here is it basically with the dual bore slide. Sorry, I got a little spit in there. Gotta pay attention to that, huh? So basically every single note that I played there was really, really clear, really, really crisp all the way through on that, and that's really nice. With the other slide on, it'll take me just a second to switch them out here. With the other slide on, again, this will just be kind of a fatter, fuller sound, but it also leads to less character, less fun. I don't know, just less overall. So if I was going to play with an orchestra, this would be kind of the system that I would have most likely for this horn here. So again, as you can tell, a really, really different sound overall on just the difference on those slides. It's amazing just the tiniest little changes that you make, whether it's on the alloys, or on how you open up the slide or where you put the tuning. It's just kind of, it's crazy, and it makes it really, really difficult to pick an instrument. Some people really become really great tech gurus where they just know every little detail about everything, and they think, you know, oh, I missed this note, so therefore I need to change this one thing. I'm just looking for a trombone that I can play to the best of my abilities and work through the issues that it comes with. So I just got two more instruments that I might as well play for you. So we got this guy over here. This horn is a con, actually, but this was like... I'll have to kind of look back at the notes. Somebody gave me this horn way back in the day when I was working a job, and their grandfather used to play in one of those big bands that toured around the country, at least, something like the Tommy Dorsey group. And so this was his horn. She would not give me the mouthpiece, which is fine. But yeah, this is just a really, really fun instrument. I pull this one out usually when I'm doing big band or like off weird jazz things that I get asked to do every once in a while. But take a listen to how this one sounds. Very, very different. Obviously, it is not ideal to play that specific excerpt on there, but it's worth showing you the difference on there. And finally, that brings us to the last instrument I'll play here for you. You guys know this thing if you've watched my videos in the past. This is the alto trombone. Compared to a tenor trombone, they are significantly different than each other. If it's played poorly, it just sounds like a really good trumpet player. I'm kidding. But yeah, so I haven't even practiced this. See, and all the slide positions are different, so I got to think about this. I have not played the alto trombone in a while. This piece, this instrument, I will play, again, often in an orchestral setting. Obviously, I don't want to actually play it like that. I'll actually practice the instrument and know what I'm supposed to play. But it's a really cool sound that it adds to the orchestra that you're trying to play with, or the trombone section. A lot of times it's used in German repertoire like Brahms or even Beethoven. So it's not something we use a lot, but if you're a main player in the orchestra, you're going to play it at least once or twice a year. So those are the instruments. Again, every single thing on your horn changes everything about how your instrument plays, and finding that right instrument for you is really, really difficult. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.